what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something new.
I thought that it would be nice, but when I'm actually here, it's amazing to see, to actually be able to touch and see history. It has exceeded my expectations.
Yes.
I've been all over the world.
In Somaliland, especially.
So I've been in Hargeisa, Somaliland, mainly in Hargeisa. This is my first place outside of Hargeisa.
Yes, sir.
And I'm happy. And I'm planning to go to Berbera. That girl, I think, is my favorite so far.
That you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want. So give me all the scars, I'm a human being. Cover them with tattoos so you can't see.
Yes, sir. That's good.
Got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want.
The history of Old Berbera City, Somaliland. Berbera, located on the northern coast of Somaliland, is one of the oldest and most historically significant port cities in the Horn of Africa. For centuries, Berbera has served as a gateway for trade, migration, and cultural exchange between Africa, Arabia, and beyond. 1. Ancient and classical periods. Location, situated on the Gulf of Aden, directly across from Yemen, Berbera was ideally positioned as a maritime hub between the Red Sea and Indian Ocean trade routes. Trade and recognition, known since antiquity to Greek, Roman, and Arab geographers. Berbera is often identified with the port of Malau mentioned in the 1st century Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, a Greek travel document. Goods exported included frankincense, myrrh, ivory, ostrich feathers, gold, and slaves. 2. Islamic and medieval periods 7th to 15th century. Islam arrived early via Arabian traders and missionaries, making Berbera one of the earliest Muslim settlements in the Horn. Became a center of Islamic learning and Sufi scholarship. Linked to the Ajuran Empire and later the Adal Sultanate, both dominant Muslim states in the region. Berbera was a strategic military and economic base during wars between Muslim sultanates and the Christian Ethiopian Empire. 3. Ottoman and European contact, 16th to 19th century. Ottoman era. In the 1500s, the Ottoman Empire extended nominal control over Berbera as part of its Red Sea interests, used Berbera as a naval base and point of access to inland markets. Decline in raids. In the 17th and 18th centuries, Berbera's prominence declined due to inland wars, shifts in trade routes, competition with other ports like Zayla. 4. British and Egyptian influence, 19th century. Aksh, Egyptian occupation, 1870s. Egypt briefly occupied Berbera as part of Muhammad Ali Pasha's expansion. British Somaliland, 1884 onward. After Egypt's withdrawal, Britain established a protectorate over Berbera in 1884. Berbera became the capital of British Somaliland until 1941. developed into a modest colonial port for livestock, hides, and ghee export. The British built infrastructure, including customs offices, water reservoirs, administrative buildings. 5. World Wars and Italian threat. During World War II, Berbera was briefly occupied by Italian forces in 1940, but retaken by the British in 1941. The capital of British Somaliland was moved to Hargeisa in the 1940s. 6. Post-colonial and Somaliland era, 1960 to present. Union with Somalia, 1960. Berbera became part of the Somali Republic following independence in July 1960, merging with Italian Somalia. Siad Barre regime. In the 1970s-1980s, Berbera gained strategic importance again. USSR used the port and airfield as a naval base. After 1977, the United States took over military use of Berbera after the USSR shifted support to Ethiopia. Somaliland independence, 1991 present. After the collapse of Somalia in 1991, Somaliland declared independence. Berbera is now the main port of Somaliland and its economic lifeline. 7. Modern revitalization. In 2016, the DP World, Dubai Ports, signed a deal with Somaliland to expand and modernize Berbera Port, now part of a growing corridor to Ethiopia, offering an alternative to Djibouti. New developments include modern container terminal, free economic zones, road links to Ethiopia. Period, event. Antiquity, known as Malau in Greek records. Key Red Sea trade hub, 7th to 15th C. Islamic city, linked to Adal Sultanate. 16th C. Nominal Ottoman control. 19th C. Egyptian then British occupation. 1884 to 1941, capital of British Somaliland. 1941 to 1960, secondary city under British rule. 1960 to 1991, part of Somalia, Cold War naval base. 1991 present, key port for independent Somaliland. Major investment from UAE. Legacy of Old Berbera. Architectural mix of Ottoman, Arab, and British styles. Rich in Islamic heritage, ancient trade routes, and strategic importance. Serves today as a symbol of Somaliland's economic independence and maritime history. Ancient and classical periods of Berbera, c. 1000 BCE to 700 CE. Berbera, a coastal city in what is now Somaliland, has one of the oldest recorded histories along the Horn of Africa's Red Sea coast. During antiquity and classical times, it was a key commercial and cultural hub, connecting Africa with Arabia, India, and the Mediterranean world. 1. Geographical importance. Located on the Gulf of Aden, directly across from modern Yemen, Berbera's natural deep-water harbor made it a vital maritime port for millennia. It served as an entry point for African goods heading to Arabia, Egypt, India, and Rome, and an import route for textiles, ceramics, and luxury goods. 2. Known to ancient civilizations. Greek and Roman records. The Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, 1st century CE, a Greek maritime guide, mentions a port called Malau, widely identified with Berbera. Malau was described as a place of much trade, dealing in frankincense, myrrh, and various aromatics with merchants from Arabia and India. Trade routes. Berbera was a major port in the Red Sea Indian Ocean trade system, forming a triangular trade network between the African interior, the Arabian Peninsula, the Indian subcontinent. Goods traded. Exports. Frankincense and myrrh, sacred and medicinal resins, gold and ivory, animal hides and horns. Slaves. Imports. Pottery and glassware, spices and textiles, iron tools and weapons. 3. Early cultural exchange and pre-Islamic influence. Berbera saw contact with South Arabian kingdoms, like Saba, Himyar, and Hadramaut, which sent merchant ships and possibly settlers. South Arabian inscriptions and architectural styles have been noted in the broader region. Influence also came from Aksumite Empire, northern Ethiopia and Eritrea, ancient Nubia and Egypt, though indirectly. 4. Maritime networks and navigation. Berbera's sailors were part of the monsoon navigation system, where seasonal winds carried ships to and from India and Arabia. It was likely connected to ancient ports like Aden and Mocha, Yemen, Opone, southern Somalia, Meroe and Napata, inland Nubia via trade routes. 5. Interior links and nomadic trade. Berbera was a coastal terminus for inland trade caravans, particularly from the Ogoouene and Hod Plains, Afar, Somali, and Oromo pastoralist regions. Camels were the main carriers of goods inland, likely involved Proto-Somali clans, who managed long-distance trade. 6. Archaeological significance. While archaeological work in Berbera has been limited, findings in nearby Zaila and along the Somali coast suggest ancient ports, wells, and fortifications, early Islamic-era mosques built atop older structures. Berbera's ancient role is confirmed by pottery shards from India, Arabia, and China, glass beads, and incense burners. 7. Berbera before Islam, pre-7th century CE. Polytheistic beliefs likely existed, influenced by Arabian and African spiritual systems. As a cosmopolitan trade port, it hosted a mix of languages and cultures: Cushitic, Proto-Somali, Sabaean, Himyarite, possibly even Greek or Latin-speaking merchants. Summary of ancient and classical Berbera. Feature. Description. Name, likely known as Malo in Greek sources. Time period. From at least 1000 BCE to 700 CE. Frankincense, myrrh, ivory, gold, slaves. Main partners: Arabia, India, Egypt, Rome. Cultural mix: Cushitic locals, South Arabian traders, Greco-Roman contacts. Indigenous beliefs, later exposed to early Islam by 7th century. Navigation: monsoon winds connected Berbera to Indian Ocean trade routes. Ottoman and European contact with Old Berbera, 1500s to 1800s. Berbera, with its natural deep-water port on the Gulf of Aden, remained a strategically vital city throughout the early modern period. During this time, 16th and 19th centuries, the city encountered Ottoman imperial ambitions, increasing European naval interest, and later British colonization, all tied to its geostrategic location and trade potential. 1. Ottoman influence, 16th to 17th centuries. Background: the Ottoman Empire, under Suleiman the Magnificent, expanded its naval and commercial reach into the Red Sea to counter Portuguese presence and protect the Muslim holy cities of Mecca and Medina. The Ottomans gained control of Massawa, Zaila, and other Red Sea ports by the 1550s. Berbera, though not fully administered, nature of control. The Ottomans never directly ruled Berbera in a centralized way. Instead, their influence came via alliances with local sultanates, especially the Adil Sultanate, which controlled the hinterland. Ottoman interest was largely commercial and strategic, focusing on protecting Red Sea pilgrimage routes containing Portuguese naval expansion, using Berbera and nearby ports as refueling and trade points. Military and political impact. Berbera may have hosted Ottoman-affiliated garrisons or advisors. Ottoman cannons and shipbuilding techniques influenced the region. Architectural remnants, like coastal watchtowers or ruins, are debated but not thoroughly excavated. 2. European interest in maritime encounters, 17th to 19th centuries. Portuguese contact. The Portuguese, after rounding the Cape of Good Hope, arrived in the Indian Ocean in the late 15th century. They fought a naval war with the Ottomans in the Red Sea and attacked Muslim ports, including some near Berbera. While Berbera was not a major Portuguese base, it became caught in the struggle between Muslim states and Christian powers. British and French observations. By the 19th century, the British and French began mapping and exploring the Red Sea coast. British officers and explorers, like Richard Burton, wrote extensively about Berbera's economic vitality, camel caravans, and seasonal trade fairs. Berbera was known for hosting massive annual trade markets, attracting traders from Somalia, Ethiopia, Harar, Arabia, India. 3. Egyptian occupation, 1870 to 1884. Under Khedive Ismail Pasha, Egypt, nominally under Ottoman control, occupied Berbera and other coastal cities. Their goal was to control Red Sea trade, link the port with inland routes to Harar and Addis Ababa. Egyptian forces built forts and customs offices in Berbera. Their presence was short-lived, and Egypt withdrew under British pressure in 1884. 4. British Protectorate established 1884. After Egyptian withdrawal, Britain signed treaties with local Somali elders and made Berbera part of the British Somaliland Protectorate. Berbera became the capital of British Somaliland until 1941. The British built customs houses, warehouses, water reservoirs, a jetty, and administrative buildings. The city's trade, especially in livestock, hides, and ghee, was revived under British order and security. Summary of Ottoman and European contact with Berbera. Era, power, role in Berbera. 1500s to 1600s, Ottoman Empire, strategic Red Sea interest, allied with Adal Sultanate. 1500s to 1600s, Portuguese Empire, naval rivals of the Ottomans, attacked nearby ports, indirect impact. 1700s to 1800s, British, French explorers mapped and documented Berbera's trade and culture. 1870 to 1884, Egypt, under Ottomans, brief occupation, built administrative structures. 1884 onward, British Empire, established protectorate, developed Berbera into an administrative and trade hub. Legacy. Ottoman-era influence is subtle but persists in Islamic architecture, trade practices, and oral traditions. European contact led to modernization of port facilities and deeper global integration. The British era laid the foundation for Berbera's transformation into a colonial and post-colonial port city. World Wars and Old Berbera, strategic port in global conflict. Though Berbera was a relatively small colonial port in the early 20th century, both World War I and World War II transformed it into a strategic military and logistical outpost in the Horn of Africa. Its location on the Gulf of Aden, near the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a choke point between the Red Sea and Indian Ocean, made it geopolitically vital to the British Empire. 1. World War I, 1914 to 1918. Berbera's defensive role. British Somaliland context. At the time, Berbera was the capital of British Somaliland and the main administrative and naval base in the region. While there was no direct combat in Berbera during WWI, it served as a supply and communication hub for British naval patrols and anti-Ottoman operations. Role in the war. Shipping and logistics base for Red Sea convoys and British Indian Ocean Fleet. Maintained by British Indian Army detachments, who were stationed to defend the port. Used to monitor Ottoman and German naval threats in the region. 2. Interwar period, 1918 to 1939. After WWI, Britain retained control over Berbera, but shifted its colonial capital to Hargeisa in 1941, later formalized. Berbera's importance declined slightly due to poor infrastructure, limited population growth, seasonal trade focused on livestock exports. However, Berbera remained the chief port of British Somaliland and a fallback point for British naval operations. 3. World War II, 1939 to 1945, Berbera in the line of fire. Italian invasion, 1940. Italy's ambition, fascist Italy under Mussolini, aimed to create a Greater East Africa, combining Italian colonies in Eritrea, Somalia, Ethiopia, conquered in 1936. Battle of Tug Argan, August 1940. Italian forces invaded British Somaliland from Ethiopia in August 1940. British forces retreated from the inland defense line at Tug Argan toward Berbera. Berbera became the evacuation point for British and Commonwealth forces. British evacuation from Berbera. The Royal Navy evacuated 5,000 plus troops and civilians from Berbera in a well-organized withdrawal, completed by August 19, 1940. Italy briefly occupied Berbera, raising the Italian flag over the town, but failed to turn it into a long-term base. British reoccupation, 1941. In March 1941, British forces under General Alan Cunningham, supported by troops from India and Africa, recaptured Berbera during the East African Campaign. This victory was part of a wider Allied effort to liberate Ethiopia and Italian-occupied territories. After retaking Berbera, the British re-established the port's colonial administration, used it as a logistics base to support operations in Ethiopia and the Red Sea. 4. Military infrastructure built during the wars. During the World Wars, the British expanded Berbera's facilities, piers and jetties for troop landings and cargo, warehouses and supply depots, water reservoirs, small airstrips used for military reconnaissance, precursors to the later Cold War-era airbase. Summary: Berbera and the World Wars. War. Role of Berbera. Notable events. WWI, 1914 to 1918, British port and supply base, surveillance against Ottoman and German presence, interwar, secondary colonial center, decline after capital moved to Hargeisa. WWII 2, 1939 to 1945, frontline in East African campaign, evacuation in 1940, Italian occupation, British recapture in 1941. Legacy of the World Wars in Berbera. The 1940 evacuation remains a notable feat of British naval organization. WWII marked the end of Berbera's status as a colonial capital, though it continued to serve as the main port. Set the stage for later Cold War military use, especially the Soviet and American interest in the 1970s-80s. Modern-day Berbera, 1991 present. Location: Gulf of Aden, Sahel region, Republic of Somaliland. Overview. Berbera today is the largest port and one of the most strategically significant cities in Somaliland, a self-declared independent state that broke away from Somalia in 1991. Over the past 3 decades, Berbera has evolved from a neglected colonial-era port into a regional trade gateway, military interest point, and symbol of Somaliland's state-building efforts. 1. City profile and demographics. Population, estimated 80,000 to 100,000 plus. Ethnic groups, primarily Somali, especially from the Isak clan, notably Haber Awal and Isa Musa subclans. Language, Somali official, Arabic, and some English. Religion, Islam Sunni. Berbera is known for its arid climate, low-lying terrain, and coastal architecture, a mix of Ottoman, British colonial, and modern styles. 2. Berbera Port, economic engine. Current role: gateway to Somaliland's economy, main point for import-export of livestock, construction materials, fuel, and foodstuffs. Major developments: DP World Partnership 2016 present. The government of Somaliland signed a 30-year port management and development deal with DP World, a global port operator based in Dubai. Goals: modernize the Berbera port, expand container terminals, link Berbera to Ethiopia via a new Berbera Corridor Road for landlocked trade. Ethiopia was granted a 19% stake in the port project in exchange for using it as an alternative to Djibouti. Strategic competition. The deal placed Berbera in a geopolitical rivalry with Djibouti Port, Chinese influence in East Africa, Middle Eastern interests, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. 3. Berbera Corridor, linking Ethiopia to the sea. A major road infrastructure project aims to connect Berbera to Wajal and Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa. Funded by the UK, UAE, and African Development Bank. Expected to handle 70% of Ethiopia's northern imports via Berbera instead of Djibouti, transforming Berbera into a land bridge for East Africa. 4. Military significance. Past. During the Cold War, Berbera was home to a Soviet air and naval base, later used briefly by the United States in the 1980s before the Somali Civil War. Present, there are ongoing talks of UAE military access or installations in the area. The large runway built by the Soviets is still operational and one of the longest in Africa. 5. Social services and urban life. Education. Local primary, secondary schools, Berbera Maritime and Fisheries Academy. Healthcare. Public hospital and private clinics, though infrastructure remains underdeveloped. Water supply. Recent improvements via international aid and public-private partnerships. Tourism. Limited but growing interest in historical buildings, Ottoman British, coral reefs and pristine beaches, wildlife nearby, gazelles, seabirds. 6 challenges today. Political status. Somaliland remains unrecognized internationally, limiting foreign investment. Water scarcity. As a desert city, Berbera depends on water trucking and boreholes. Youth unemployment. Though the port is creating jobs, many still migrate or seek work abroad. Environmental pressure. Climate change, desertification, and overfishing threaten sustainability. 7. Cultural and historical identity. Berbera maintains its heritage as an ancient port city, with traditional architecture, seasonal camel markets, old mosques and colonial buildings. Oral history and elders preserve memory of Ottoman, Arab, and British eras, World War II and Somali liberation movements, the Somali National Movement SNM, which helped liberate the city from Siad Barre's regime in 1991. Summary: Modern Berbera feature, status, port. Modernized with DP World, hub for regional trade. Military, strategic airstrip past Soviet and US base. Trade, corridor to Ethiopia, rival to Djibouti. Population, growing urban center with strong clan governance. Water, youth employment, lack of international recognition. Potential, key future gateway for East Africa and Gulf states.
dalka maxbuuti siiyey berbera mudana meeshay ku taallaa muhiimad weyna muftaaxi weeye mandaqadoo dhan marsada dalka maxbuuti siiyey berbera mudana meeshay ku taallaa muhiimad weyna muftaaxi weeye mandaqadoo dhan dalka maxbuuti siiyey marqaatideeda mushtarka dunida marar fog sheegay marsada dalka maxbuuti siiyey taariikhda meerta xilliga maanta mariimay daawo dalka maxbuuti siiyey berbera mudana meeshay ku taallaa muhiimad weyna muftaaxi weeye mandaqadoo dhan marsada dalka maxbuuti siiyey berbera mudana meeshay ku taallaa muhiimad weyna muftaaxi weeye mandaqadoo dhan marsada dalka maxbuuti siiyey berbera mudana meeshay ku taallaa muhiimad weyna muftaaxi weeye mandaqadoo dhan marsada dalka maxbuuti siiyey marqaatideeda mushtarka dunida marar fog sheegay marsada dalka maxbuuti siiyey taariikhda meerta xilliga maanta mariimay daawo dalka maxbuuti siiyey berbera mudana meeshay ku taallaa muhiimad weyna muftaaxi weeye mandaqadoo dhan marsada dalka maxbuuti siiyey berbera mudana meeshay ku taallaa muhiimad weyna muftaaxi weeye mandaqadoo dhan
dalka maxbuuti siiyey berbera mudana meeshay ku taallaa
muhiimad weyna muftaaxi weeyey mandaqadoo dhan
marsada dalka maxbuuti siiyey marqaatideeda mushtarka dunida
marar fog sheegay
taariikhda meerta xilliga maanta
mariima daawo
marsada dalka maxbuuti siiyey rekad mugweyno samaan la maashay iyo tan maanta ismaha la meeraray
malkani weeye horumarkeena
marsada dalka maxbuuti siiyey berbera mudana meeshay ku taallaa
muhiimad weyna muftaaxi weeyey mandaqadoo dhan
nacabku darbiyada ha jiidho cadowgu darajada ha waaye